But home, the last stable place I'd lived, had been during my childhood, back when everything and everyone was still intact, back when my mother was still alive. Since then, how many times had I moved? 30? 40? So many years when I held everything I owned in the trunk of my car, digging for my work uniform from a trash bag, covering the beloved stereo I had nowhere to plug in, couches and floors, motel beds and car seats. I had been out in the world then too, on those nights, but it hadn't been this world. It hadn't been a world that held any promise at all. I knew because I had been terrified to board this ship, built for the Korean War but repurposed for passengers. Yet made myself do it anyway, knew that however vague my future looked, and it looked plenty vague still, it was this idea of promise that I'd hold, this sense of possibility. As we lay on our backs, light began to break along the horizon, and the overhead sky appeared to cleave in half. Night on one side, dawn on the other. It was like a perfect seam down the sky. We couldn't believe what was in front of us. We whispered, "Are you seeing what I'm seeing? Can this really be happening?" Because even the visual evidence didn't seem enough. Day and night so clearly sharing the sky. A vertical vein from horizon to horizon threading right down the middle. Even as I watched it, it seemed impossible that it was real. Dozens of us witnessed the sky slowly, almost imperceptibly, folding itself in half, then in half again. The dark side eventually giving way to the light. The ocean rushing loudly as it carried us along. This night, this moment would come to me over and over, through the years and then the decades. I would question my memory, think, it couldn't have been as I recall it, an artery down the sky. But the vision was so clear in my mind, so unshakable. I know now that science has a name for that line. Dawn in half the sky, darkness in the other. The Terminator. Sometimes it's also called the gray area, or even the twilight zone. It's a fuzzy line because sunlight bends around the earth. I like to think to the earth now. But it does not exist in equal proportion to the darkness. That is to say that the world is not half in dark, half in light. It's because of that bend, the Earth's diameter. It turns out that sunlight covers a greater area of Earth than darkness. Science explained the celestial vision I saw that night, but memory makes it a miracle. I wouldn't understand for years still, but that line was a kind of beginning, a reset, a visual demarcation of my own metamorphosis. That line is my origin story. Part 1. Spark and Clay, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. 1. My brother David and I came home from school on a Friday in October to an ambulance in the driveway. David was a year older than me, in 4th grade. The ambulance was not in itself cause for alarm. We'd seen them before, coming or going, with our mother or without. It took up nearly the girth of our driveway, and we sidled past it, skipping up the stairs to our front door. It was October 1977, but my mother had been sick for much of my life. Recently, a gray oxygen tank 4 feet tall had been installed in her bedroom, and she had been in bed pretty much ever since. In fact, she had been in and out of bed for years. The memories that dominate my time with my mother nearly all involve her sickness. Pulling over our green Pontiac station wagon so she could vomit on the shoulder of the road. My father and grandfather helping her to the dinner table so she could sit with us for a few minutes at Passover. David and me making get-well cards for her many hospital stays. I helped her pick out wigs and scarves. "What about this one, Rachel?" she asked as she emerged from the bathroom with a Jacqueline Smith wig, long, loose curls to her shoulders. "Or this one, short with dark, spiky tips."